I do want to get a Model 3 used. I don't necessarily want to get a new Tesla because they depreciate very fast. For me, because I'm in the driver, so I just want to get it verified because that pulls a lot of current. I'm just going to switch those.
Yeah.
Um, can you let me switch? Come on. Okay. Can you? Who installed your plug?
Oh, I don't remember the name of the company, but it was through DTE has a program.
Awesome.
Yeah, where they'll set you up with a local electrician that's certified and everything, and
Yes.
it'll streamline the process of the rebates too. So
Do you know how many amps your setup is? How many amps is it? 35, 45, 50. Your home is newer, beautiful home.
uh,
You have it.
the panel is a 200 amp panel, but
Ooh,
the uh, the charger is on a 60 amp breaker
okay.
because it's a 50 amp charger,
Yes.
but because it's a continuous load, that only 80% of the load is what you're supposed to rate it for.
Right.
So 50 amps would be a 60 amp breaker. But yeah, I think we got it installed shortly after we moved in, probably about a month or so.
That's the smart way. Have you ever tripped a circuit breaker? Have you ever?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right. All right. Probably my house is so old. Um, that would happen to me. It's better to be conservative. Now you know some of those chargers have melted.
Yeah.
Um, do you get Tesla hate? Have you seen people? Um, have you seen Tesla hate? Has someone tried to scratch your car, kick it, key it?
No, just on the news. Nothing in real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
You bought your Tesla used or new?
Yeah. Yeah. Both of ours we bought used.
Oh, smart. Okay.
Yeah, because the depreciation.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, we try not to buy new stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, your range. What is your range? You have what years are they?
Mine's a 2021. Hers
Nice.
is a 2022.
Right.
Mine's a rear wheel drive
Mm.
standard range battery. Hers is the dual motor long range battery.
Mm.
So on paper she would get like 300. On paper I would get 240 miles.
What are you actually getting right now, real world?
I get like 298.
It's hard. I don't really pay attention too much, honestly, about
I
it.
do because I drive a lot.
Yeah.
I get like 298.
Not
Okay.
bad. Not bad. Um, uh, do you charge it every day? Do you wait a couple of days? Or as soon as you come home, you just plug it up?
Usually, actually, I charge at work.
Oh,
Yeah.
um, uh, obviously a supercharger.
Nope, just a level 2.
Oh.
It's a 200 volt charger that I set up at work, and I just plug it in when I'm there.
Nice. Where's the furthest you've driven? You and your wife. Where's the furthest on the vehicle? Can you talk about insurance?
I think it's gone down because of the security features.
It's hard to say because we have 2 young children that are driving, so that's
Oh.
learning to drive. One
Right.
that is driving, so that's kind of changed it. But I don't know. It's probably about the same, maybe a little bit more.
There's incentives though because
With
of
the
all
insurance?
the security.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much you insure it for with PIP and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
it's about on par for what we were paying for other cars. I don't think it was too much different, maybe a little bit more, but
Not bad for a new car.
Really?
yeah.
Do you ever forget and like pull into a gas station?
Uh, I don't even think about gas stations.
Oh, wow.
I don't even have to think about gas prices or which station is going to be, save you $5 here, $5 there, or any stupid points or anything. It's great. You just
1,000 points.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't have to worry about any of
I
that
think
stuff.
what's nice with the Teslas is the charging things that they have.
The,
Trip.
the superchargers, yeah, because when we went to Florida,
We didn't even worry about it.
didn't worry about it because you put the destination in the computer.
Right.
It tells you where to go, where the stations are, how much charge you're gonna have when you get to that station,
How long you need.
how long you need. It'll say, hey, stay here for 15 minutes, stay here for 20 minutes, and move on. And it makes it, you don't even have to think about it.
Aren't you scared? Like, have you had range anxiety?
Used to when we were new about it.
Uh-huh.
Just because it's a wholly totally different way of driving than what you're used to with electric, I guess. But you know, for us, I noticed that you can choose between miles or percentage.
Mm.
And if you think of like a gas car, it's usually percentage based. You know, you have a half tank, you have a quarter tank. You don't really think about it. You say,
Excellent.
"Oh, I got a quarter tank. I guess I gotta get gas."
Right.
Well, the same thing. You know, I got 50% charge. I should probably plug it in. So when I do it with a percentage instead of a miles based, the range anxiety kind of mostly went away.
Talk to me about in the wintertime. We're in the Midwest. Don't mention where
Mhm.
we are. How how much range do you lose?
Depends on how much you crank the heat.
Oh, the heat.
Yeah, the
Oh,
cabin heat, because that's going to cause a lot more or range loss because that battery's got to power everything in the car, not just the the, um, the wheels. So um, heat will using the heat a lot will affect that range. But I would say on average, if it's like
so ghetto.
if it's if it's below freezing, probably it would expect to lose about 20%.
Hmm.
If
She
it's
grabbing, she eating. She like, I mean, bro, he
yeah,
good.
if it's below zero, probably more like 30% you might lose.
when you got, when both of you got the used Teslas,
Mhm.
did you test the battery? Did the how did you know the level of degradation? What was the level of degradation when you got it? Did you check it? Were you above 90? You didn't worry about it.
Didn't really think about it too much because
Wow.
we got it from dealership. So I got it from a Ford dealership that knew nothing about the car,
Really?
zero about the car. She got it from a Volvo dealership that
Ooh.
also knew nothing about the car. Actually, hers is a seven seater,
Mm.
which if you were to buy it new as a seven seater, it's an extra charge to get the extra seats.
Wow.
Well, the dealership had no idea it was a seven seater, so we kind of got a deal because they didn't know
Mm.
about the car.
Wow.
They didn't know that it had acceleration boost on it. They
Ooh.
didn't know it had a seven seat on it. They didn't know it had a tow hitch. There's a bunch of stuff they didn't know about it that actually helped us because they would probably price it a lot higher than what they did.
Hmm. Um, have you ever tested the battery degradation? Have you ever taken it down to zero to find out, or you're just not going to worry about it?
Um, well, it's a lot based on what your driving habits are. So
Okay.
if you're a lead foot, you're not going to get as much range as if you're if you're like Miss Daisy. If you're
I love it.
if you're driving on the highway a lot, you're not going to get as much range as if you're driving city streets a lot because the aerodynamics of high speeds makes it use more energy to go higher speeds. So
Do people race you? Like roll up to you, zoom, zoom?
no, but
Are you a racing type?
no, but
You said no, but.
cool thing about EVs is because there's instant torque to the
Oh
wheels.
my God, yes.
Instant torque to the wheels. There's no RPM, torque curve that you have to worry about with. It's got to get to 3,000 RPM before you get max torque. It's
Yeah.
right there as soon as you hit it. So especially like on a red light, like you don't even have to try that hard, and you're way far ahead of everybody. And that's kind of fun.
That's great.
Mm.
Um, do more young people look at your car or 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or people like, it's a Tesla, so what?
Young people.
Okay.
Yeah, kids
Uh-huh.
especially. Like I'll definitely get looks and I'll hear them talk about it. Like if I have the window down, ooh, it's a Tesla.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
older people don't know
They
too
don't
much.
know.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel like Tesla is still a bargain? You bought two used ones. Um, is it a bargain for someone looking to get into an EV?
Yes, just because of how much features you get for everything. It's especially if you're looking at the Model 3 and the Model Y,
Yes.
they're the more average person car, whereas like the S and the X are luxury. Those are
Okay.
luxury cars. But the 3 and the Y, you still get so many features that it's
Mm.
it's essentially a luxury car.
The software,
Still
the
for
software is very
for a much cheaper
intuitive
price.
also.
Yeah, I had a Nissan Leaf
Oh, wow.
Yes.
OG, man.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
That was after we went from the plug-in hybrids and we were pretty confident about the whole EV thing.
Yes, sir.
I was like, what's the cheapest EV that I can get to in case this is a mistake? It was a right. It was a Nissan Leaf.
Wow.
It had like max 140 miles
Mm.
max, but it doesn't have a active cooling on the battery. So in the winter time, you lose quite a lot of range, like
Wow.
more like 50%.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
I
it's
remember that.
guessometer how much miles you're gonna get was awful. A Ford Edge.
Ooh, wow.
I had a Ford after having F-150
Ooh.
because I was noticing gas were ticking up, and this was like pre-COVID,
Yes.
kicking up, and I was like, let's try to save some money. We did the plug-in hybrid thing. I got a Chevy Volt, the first generation, which had
Wow.
29 miles of EV range, and that was almost enough to get to work. You know, just by that, and we were saving a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we were probably spending probably $500 to $600 a month on
On gas.
gasoline.
Yes.
And going to EV, like we spend maybe a quarter of it
Even
now.
with the third, even with his car, I
Yeah.
feel like our electricity bill is still nowhere near what we'd be paying for 3 gas cars.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When is your timer set to charge? In the evening?
During off-peak hours.
Yes.
This house is in DTE, so it's cheaper during 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Wow.
More expensive between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m.
No,
So, at night, then you can save a little bit of money. So yeah, we try our best to charge during off-peak hours.
Have you had to take it to the Tesla dealership or had to call them out here if you had any issues? Or
No, we haven't had to. I think we called them to rotate the tires because I didn't feel like putting the car in jack stands.
okay, yeah.
And so he came out to our house and they rotated the tires. And,
Give me 5 more minutes. What type of brand name tires do you have? Do you know?
we just switched them out.
well, we went to Bell Tire for hers.
okay.
And we just got whatever the cheapest.
Do you have regular tires or EV tires?
I think we just went with regular tires.
And then the pressure is over 40. The PSI, because the heavy vehicle is over 41.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. You had to replace the brake pads.
No.
Okay.
Actually, tell about the regenerative, like how you updated the brakes.
Yeah, well, so with regenerative braking, obviously you're not using the physical brakes as much because the motor turns the other way to slow the car down like 80% of the time.
Wow.
You're using the brake pads like almost nothing in comparison to a so
Oh,
because the brake normally are constantly being used.
yes.
It's cleaning the discs from rust.
I love what you're saying. This guy knows his stuff, man. Come on, baby. Talk to us now.
So normally that cleans the discs, but when you're not using the brakes, they start kind of rusting up and warping a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. So
Did you replace the rotors?
no, actually, you can use there's a feature in the a secret mode in the car where you can
Secret mode.
where you can basically
I love this guy, man. He's so hype, baby. Come on, man.
On his
Yeah.
research.
you can burnish the brakes so that it cleans them up.
Oh.
Because she had like a little bit of squeaking going on.
Uh-huh.
Process.
I'm giving you the hard look, bro. That's the slay look, like, bro.
You were able to like just kind of like do a
the brake burnishment process, and then it fixed the squeak and it cleaned up the brakes, and then it's not a problem anymore.
Talk about your software updates. What is it like? How long does it take? Are you like excited when their new software update comes out?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I usually get disappointed when it says minor update.
Oh no.
There's nothing going on, but it's always something like under the hood. I'd say probably once a month there's an update.
Ooh.
And sometimes
they give you the free FSD too.
yeah. Well, sometimes the updates are kind of like Christmas. It's like what's going on now? What new things is it going to do?
Right.
But a lot of times it's mostly just like minor things that you don't even probably know what it does exactly. But it takes about probably 30 minutes, and it'll do it all by itself.
At night usually.
Mm-hmm.
Does your car know when you get up, and is it warm or cool for you to go?
You can set it up that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yours is not.
I don't really care if it's too hot or cold. I do it when I'm plugged in at work before I leave. But if there was snow in my car, I have it set that it knows when I'm about to leave to go home, and
Uh-huh.
that'll start heating up the car, melt the snow, and all that stuff. And
Does your car handle really good? Is it predictable? Does it slide all over the road?
no, not really. No, it's pretty handles pretty well. Yeah.
So let's flip it. Would you recommend a Tesla for a beginning driver, a used one? I'm gonna have to diss my wife. She's gonna be pissed. Anyway, we're gonna have to wrap this up in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Honey, I love you. Um, would you recommend a electric vehicle, a Tesla for your son, your daughter, beginning driver?
You know, that's obviously that's what we had for them, so that's what they used, and
They got no
we
choice.
had no choice really. But
I'll wrap this up in 2 minutes. So, would you recommend, like years ago, we did a PD for driver situation stating that in the next 5 or 7 years, there's going to be more EVs on the road, more smart driving cars on the other side. Um, would you suggest that? Do you see the advantages or disadvantages? The insurance, the wear and tear, because we have a lot of electric vehicles now that are out there, 17s, 8.
you know, old guys were like, you have to learn how to drive a shift,
Yep,
you know,
yep,
a
yep, yep,
manual.
yep,
So that's probably the best because you still have probably the best because you still have the warranty in place, lower miles, but you're not getting the hit of a brand new car where
yep.
you know a lot of that depreciation's already gone in the first 2 3 years.